So we are going to be talking about 1-point perspective today. So 1-point perspective is a type of drawing that has depth and you can see distance in. You can see depth, you can see like you could reach out and walk out onto it. And there's 1 point that everything kind of lines up to. There's 1 point that is the very back of the picture. So the first thing I'm gonna do on mine is draw 2 lines making a road. And I'm going to just freehand most of mine because I'm not really worried about it being perfect. But if you want to use a straight edge or something like that, that is fine. I normally just use something that I have in front of me. If you have a ruler or something like that, of course that would work for this, but I normally just kind of grab a pencil or something to do my straight edge. But I always do something weird like draw my finger when I'm doing that, so I normally just kind of freehand it. But this is a triangle. It does not look like a road yet, but I'm going to add something in it to make it look like a road. Now this could be anything you want it to be. This could be a dirt road, this could be a river, or anything leading one way. I am going to, though, draw some details on here because I'm probably not going to record me coloring it in. And so I'm making those dashed yellow lines that you see on the street, but I made them bigger on the bottom and smaller up here, just like my road. So it looks like your eye sees the road going back and getting smaller and farther away up here. I think you could fit one more right here, maybe a small thin one. And of course, this can be changed. This can be made to look a little bit cleaner if you need it to be. I think that I also want to put a sidewalk on both sides of my road. So I'm going to start right here. This is our 1 point. This is our point, our perspective, where everything kind of meets at. So I'm going to start right here, and I'm just going to kind of draw another line that makes it look smaller up here and it's getting wider down to the bottom. I'm going to try to match it on this side. It's not going to be exactly the same, but it'll be close enough. And then, so I want this to be my sidewalk. So I'm just going to draw a straight line, a horizontal straight line. So one that, if this is the horizon, it matches, it's parallel, it's the same. And I'll do that going up here, kind of making them closer together as I get towards the top because I want it to look like it's getting farther away. And I'm kind of trying to make it look square, so that helps a little bit with my sizing. And you can kind of imply lines when you're getting farther away. So down here, imagine that you can't really see the lines on the sidewalk super well, so if they kind of started to fade away, that would be normal, that would look normal. And I'm gonna start right here so my sidewalk isn't completely even, so I could imagine I would have a square right here. So maybe so they don't match up as much. And they don't have to be square, that's just how mine are. And you don't have to do a sidewalk, but I want to put a sidewalk on mine. And my lines are definitely not all straight and perfect. They are definitely a little wiggly and crooked, but that's okay. So now I want to decide what do I want on the sides. So you could do a tunnel. You could make a half circle and make this like a tunnel going through. You could do a city with big giant buildings on both sides. You could do a outside nature-y kind of rural road with, you know, a forest on either side. You can put anything on the side of your road. You could put a roller coaster out here, anything you want to do, but I'm just going to do something kind of simple just to kind of show you how to do it. So I am going to put some buildings over here, and I want my building to look 3D just like my road does. So I'm going to start right here. And I'm going to make a very large building. This building is very close to us, the viewer. So I'm going to put the front right here. And it's going to be so big that we can't see the top or the sides of it or anything. So you could imagine the top of my building, but it goes off the page. And I'm going to add a door. No. Yeah, I'm gonna add a door down here. And I'm kind of trying to make it look reasonably proportionate to my sidewalk. So if you think of like a chunk of concrete like that compared to the size of a door, I think that's close enough. And so this line right here is going to be parallel to the line on my door. So I didn't do that perfectly, but I can erase and add to it if I want to. So I'm going to put a door right there and maybe some windows. So all of my vertical lines, my straight up and down lines, are gonna be straight up and down, but my horizontal lines are kind of gonna match this first line that I did. So I'm not doing mine exactly even to that. So if I kind of use my pencil, that helps me a little bit. So I'm gonna put a window here, and I'm gonna put a window here, and you can match up your line from your window too, instead of having to do it from from your road. So this window is gonna look a little bit bigger because it is a little bit closer to you, to the viewer, to the front of the page. And you could add any kind of details. You can add windows however you want going up the side of that. I'm not going to use your time by drawing every single window on the building right now. You could do some on this side too. You could have another building right here so you could have them right next to each other. But I'm gonna leave this building like this. And since it goes all the way on the bottom, this line would be the realistic bottom of that building. So I can just kind of leave it like that without adding anything to it. But we know if I did make it stop at the top, my line up here would be a little bit different, and then this one will be flat. So I'm going to do a park on the other side. So I'll put some trees on the other side. I'll put a big giant tree right here, and you can draw your tree however you want to do your trees. That's a very, very simple tree, not very realistic for a tree, but I'll do that tree right here. And since it's in the front, it's gonna layer on top of what's in the background. So you could start from the back and draw very, very lightly and kind of erase where you wanted to. But since I'm gonna do this in the front, I'm just gonna draw that one first. And so if I put another tree right here, it's gonna be a little bit smaller because it's farther away, and probably a little bit taller. So I might see it kind of rise above this tree. And I put them pretty close together. You could put trees, you don't have to put trees, but if you would like to put trees, you can put them a little farther apart. You could do one down here. that is smaller. And fill that in however I want to or however you want to. Trees can go higher, can go lower because they're different sizes. The same with buildings. I don't necessarily have to put a smaller or bigger building next to this one. I could do one, maybe let's leave like a little alleyway right here. So this would be the space that someone could walk down this little street maybe. Maybe there's a space in between two buildings. And then I'll draw another building. Right here. And maybe this building is not quite as tall. So maybe this building ends right here. So the front, or this is the side of it, but to you, it is the front part that you're viewing looks like a rectangle. And then we're going to make it go down a little bit because it is farther away from us. So this is my perspective, my 1 point perspective. You can kind of draw lines to it like that, a straight line, and that would be about how that building would look because it's coming towards that point. And then make it go down to my sidewalk. So then now that building is a part of that perspective because it is coming down from this line. So then I could do the same thing. I could add whatever details I want. I'll add a little door right here. Maybe a double door. And maybe this one's an apartment. Maybe people live in this building. So I can add like a big pretty window that has, maybe they've got some curtains inside. And of course, if I was finished with this, I would not leave all of this blank space. I would add more details. I would add more color and stuff into it. But this is yours. You can design this however you want. Maybe we could do a sunset. You could put the sun coming down right here. You could do the rest of the sky, add some clouds in the sky, add some birds. I would color in maybe some grass, maybe put like a little park bench or something over here. I don't really know what a bench looks like. It's kind of a funny looking bench, but there's a little park bench in the park. Any other details you want, you could draw cars on your street getting smaller as they go down here, maybe stop signs, traffic lights. You could add some people on the sidewalk or in a little alleyway in the windows going in the door. You could add a mural over here or over here. If you guys remember any of the mural artists that we've learned about before, maybe a Keith Haring or Kelly Montague, any kind. It could be your own design mural, something bright and colorful that could go on your city street. And don't focus too much on making it perfect because, again, it doesn't need to be perfect. Draw lightly, especially if you're doing something like that where you're drawing little guiding lines. It doesn't need to be on dark. If I try to erase a dark line, it's going to be a lot harder than erasing a line that's very, very faint. Make it unique, make it look like yours. You can add interesting things on the sides, anything you want, and have fun with it.